We'll go ahead and do a roll call. Tatiana McClure.
Yeah.
John Barrowman.
Here.
Gary Johnston.
Here.
Ed Quick. Here. Margaret Higgins.
Yes.
Judy Song.
Here.
What's your name, Louise Platt?
Here.
And I believe Susan Vance is not feeling well, so I don't see her online. Did I miss anybody down there? No. Okay, we do have a quorum. Let me move right into my quote unquote report, which I have not prepared as usual. It's coming right off the top of my head, but I do know that I want to do a few things. First and foremost is I know I did it at the annual meeting, but again, I feel it's really important. We had 6 candidates run for 3 positions. I want to thank all the candidates that ran. Those that are outgoing board members and the new board members that were elected. Thanks very much for putting yourself forward and having interest working for our community. Especially, I think I forgot to thank the nominating committee at the annual meeting. The nominating committee did a tremendous amount of work in the run up to the annual meeting. The ballots, the candidate forum, organizing everything. So that committee was Colleen Garrity, Kim Euskis, and Nancy Swain. Correct?
Yes.
Nancy, you're on that, right? So thank you again. And finally, and I can't even believe she's here, but I don't think I've ever said thank you to my wife for letting me do all this. All kidding aside, it's a lot of time away from her. I kind of say to her, I should be back soon. And then the next thing I know, it's 7 o'clock and I'm walking in the door. So it's a little bit crazy, but thank you, Michaela, for tolerating all the time that we put
That's why we make it to 41 years.
if you're lucky. And otherwise, generally speaking, everyone's seen the community, the shape of the community. It's kind of status quo. It's stagnant. Not much happening this time of the year. Although a lot of stuff will be coming down very, very shortly. So they're going to be busy picking up debris and leaves and things like that. We're going to talk a lot about landscaping under new business. So I'm not going to go into too much detail on that. The other thing I wanted to point out, we put a lot of money, a lot of time, and a lot of effort into the lap pool. I think I've seen 2 people use it.
Oh, no. Many more complaints.
Do they? Well, you see it all day. Okay, that's good. So yeah, that was another ad hoc committee that Jim Young organized. We had initially 17 volunteers, and over the course of 3 days, the lap pool fence was completely repainted. Yeah, it looks great. So the deck's done, the splash on the pool's done, the heater's fixed, thank God. And I think I've been in it once or twice myself. So it's if you're not using it, you should try it out. So I'm not going to spend too much time talking about other things because I prefer that the committee chairs do that. Again, I think we'll spend a little bit more time talking about landscaping under new business. I meant to say also, yes, could we all please silence our cell phones and all those that are online, if you're not on mute, please put yourselves on mute. Thank you. Looks like everybody's done that. I don't, 248 area code, could you please identify yourself? I don't know who that is. You're probably on mute. Okay.
Is it 248 for the people from Detroit?
I don't know.
I thought it was Louisiana. Are you looking at that?
Okay. Well, let's move on then.
Yeah.
Okay. So the next item on the agenda is the secretary's report. So So since Susan is not here, it falls upon the unprepared shoulders of Judy. So Judy, I think what we need to do is, ask for a motion for the minutes, the November meeting minutes to be approved.
Okay, I make a motion that the November 25th, 2024 meeting is approved. Right, second. Meeting
Okay.
minutes.
Meeting minutes from November 25th, 24 has, motions been made and seconded. Are there any questions? Everybody had a chance to review the meeting minutes? Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Great, thank you. Wonderful. What's next? Treasurer's report. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, approve the organizational meeting for January, what was it, 11th, 2025.
Okay.
Motions are made and seconded to approve the January 11th, 2025 organizational meeting, which was the meeting that immediately followed the annual meeting. There's still some work to be done on that. We did not nominate and appoint, approve all committee chairs. But in any event, motions are made and seconded. Is there any questions, any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Great, thank you. So those are done. Now we have at least on the agenda, we have a joint presentation, but I'm not sure if it's going to be John, Ed, or both.
I'll go ahead and just do my report. Yeah. Okay, thank you. Treasurer's report for January 27th, 2025. Our operating fund balance is $28,469.05. Our reserve fund balance is $368,418.42. For a total on deposit of $416,887.47. In our expenses for the year, we went over budget in a few areas that were pretty significant, and most of you identified them from, certainly from the storm that we had and stuff like this. The intense amount of work done on the irrigation system. Repair and maintenance was over budget by about $77,000. And due to electrical repairs, storm damage. Our irrigation budget went over by $18,792.
I'm sorry, John. Did you say?
Sorry,
Did you say maintenance over by 77,000?
that's correct.
That says on here. Summary of all of them. Yeah, that's not.
Oh, okay.
That's exactly right.
I got you.
That's the general category for
Yeah.
repair and maintenance.
Okay.
It
Sorry.
covers several codes. Our reserve contribution was $95,474, and we had an interest income on our CDs added into that for $14,181. So that's the report for January 2025. Outgoing treasurer John Barrow. Yeah.
And then Jay, I'll just go to the finance report. So as John just shared, we're over on a couple areas, or over on a couple other areas as well. So our total shortfall as of December, year-end December, is about $94,936,000 in terms of the budget shortfall. So if you think about it, the reserve contribution we paid in will probably be used to cover that shortfall. So in essence, reserve contribution for 24 is going to be pretty close to null. I'm meeting with Christy tomorrow to go over the finances just to make sure there's nothing outstanding that might make this go up or down, and see if we kind of finalize the number for 2024 as we move into January 1, 2020 or January 2025. So that's the current state of the Business and Finance Committee. We'll get starting on having meetings sometime in January or in on a normal cadence. Any questions?
So Ed, that constituted the Business and Finance Committee report as well?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Ed has to leave a little bit early tonight. So,
Right. John,
Yes.
when we pay the deposit or the deductible, or do we actually pay it, or do we just pay things over and over? Did we just pay X amount of dollars for the repairs and so forth? And then the insurance company gave us a certain amount of money, and they gave us less money than what it would have been because they took away the $10,000. Was that posted anywhere, or did it just go into, well, that'll just be, we'll have to handle this cost because the insurance company is not handling it? And is that how you did it? But you didn't post
That's
it?
a good question, and it still needs to be resolved with associate. I'm not sure what the status of the of insurance refund was. And my understanding was it was less than we had expected. And, had some kind of interesting little details in there as to what was covered and what wasn't. Things that you would expect to be covered just as a normal course of events. It turned out to be a detail that kind of caused us to not get a full reimbursement for what we thought we would be getting.
So what you're talking about is part of the additional cost that went out of our budget because of the deductible.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
What they broke the payment down from the insurance kind of three ways. The total amount that they thought it would be, and then they took away depreciation, anything that was depreciable, and they took that away until you replace it. Once you don't get replacement coverage until you replace it, so they give you less money. And I don't know that I saw the last adjustment, and maybe Chrissy has that.
I'll ask her that tomorrow.
Yeah.
Get a status update on the claim, because the deductible has been part of the expense for 2024 is already cleared based on the financial, but I don't know if there's any shortfall that we've done work for, how that's been addressed, or it's just coming into the budget. But she is tracking it separately from all of the transactions.
Well, I'm sure there would have been a resolve because you only have 6 months to replace something in your insurance policy, or you live with actual cash value and not replacement value. And it's 6 months for us as of the 14th.
Yeah, didn't say anything.
Oh, you asked me a question.
Just looking at you. Moving
Yes,
on.
yeah.
So the only thing I could think of that we would have had replacement costs for was if we were to have gone out and purchased. I mean, they don't depreciate trees.
They depreciate roofs, and that's what they did, is they depreciated all the roofs. We were walking around, and the adjuster said, well, how old is this roof? And the fellow said, well, I think we had it about, I don't know, 3 or 7 years ago. I wanted to kick them. If the company used 7 years, of course, they depreciate. They just take the cost new and depreciate away. And then when you do replace the roof, then they give it back to you. And I was just verifying whether we got the back to us.
So when they depreciate the roofs, they depreciate the payment too, since they're not covering as much, right?
Correct.
Right.
They're covering it for actual cash value, not
You
replacement.
wonder how they make money, yeah.
Wow.
Okay. Are there any other questions or comments for business and finance? If not, we'll skip over the associate action item report and move on to committee reports. Tatiana?
Business as usual. I have nothing to report. I mean, we working with Linian property. Now leaves are appears, so we have to clean it, and that's mostly what we are doing. Just make it clean. So I don't have anything to report.
Can I ask you a question here?
Sure.
I noticed that we've had people hand watering the plants.
Can't hear you.
I'm sorry, we've had people hand watering the plants. And I'm not sure if that's ongoing or temporary or. Oh, why?
I don't think the amplifier is turned on.
Oh, okay. Why have we got hand washing going on?
Well, because there are certain areas where irrigation does not work for one reason or another reason, and I try to address it, but so far I do not have a good resolution. So, and like, for example, like my plan, even if it is written, but we do it according to schedule. I personally never seen the schedule. And my plan last time was water January 1st. And today is January 26th. So I don't know what to say. I think it is a good idea to water them.
Okay, they do have a schedule. I know that it's I believe twice a week, 20 to 25 minutes. Oh, that's that's the irrigation schedule. What we're talking about is the flower beds around the quad.
Twice a week. It should be at least, maybe it is once and 2 weeks.
That's
That's
what it
what
should
I
be.
put.
Okay, I can't remember exactly what it is, but he did publish the schedule. And we'll find that for you if you don't have it, something's wrong.
I don't have.
Back and forth in my hand watering rather than having the.
No, as far as I know, any hand watering that's being done is of a homeowner's own volition.
Being done by staff.
The only thing that they're hand watering are citrus trees.
There,
No, they were hand watering with a hose.
in the case where there's a problem with the backflow or water supply, they are using a hose to water until they get it fixed. And there's a meeting tomorrow to talk about that.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Okay, we'll move on to maintenance. Jim?
Oh. What Jay already mentioned that we went ahead and got the pool fence painted, and I have a list of people that I would like to thank. I was going to have it in writing, but my printer didn't work. But I do know that Colleen was there, Nat Ortega was there, Louise was there, Rob, Margaret, Lou and Patty, Tatiana, Alfonso helped us in the beginning, and he also lent us his equipment so that we could pressure wash. And we are very grateful that he was able to do that for us. Tim was there, Judy was there, Gary and Frank.
Rick Riddell as well, my housemate.
I said Rick.
On Friday.
Yes, and then Annalise and what's her name, Michaela, Diane, and Jay.
You
Those
probably
were-
missed somebody.
It was a great turnout. It only took us 3 days to do it, even though we had stop and start because of weather. But thank you for getting it done. And I think we spilled one little drop on the pool deck, and I don't think we did any, but Jay found one. Because he bet me that we would. And so he found it. I think he went out and planted it myself. But also, we had a couple of meetings with the insurance inspectors, and Jay and we are the maintenance committee, went around and we repaired a couple of sidewalks. We put up a couple of the lattice boxes over utilities that were blown off and laying on the ground. We rebuilt one of them and are in the process of doing more. We did some painting around that really was glaring. We fixed some of the boards, the landscaping boards that were, had come from the landscaping into the sidewalks, so the guy wouldn't trip on them on their way down. And then we planned our route so that he wouldn't step on those that we didn't get to. I don't know if I've forgotten anything else, but we've been sort of busy, and we have looking forward to touching up gas pipes and some painting issues that are rusty and make this place look a little shabby. And we're still working on the lattice boxes to get them back to where they were when they were perfect, when Alfonso put them all up. I guess that's it.
Nope, you forgot one thing.
What was that?
You were gonna encourage people to volunteer to help us.
I am going to encourage that, and I have in my mind that we're going to have some kind of a social thing, and also with maintenance, where we gather once a month or every 2 weeks for a little breakfast, and then we put on our maintenance crew T-shirts and go out and tackle some of these smaller jobs that would very quickly be taken care of and calm down the complaints. So that's in the works, and some of the people I wanted to make sure they volunteered for, they're not here. So I was going to skip that.
Thank you, Jim. Okay, let's move on to insurance. Anya. Oh, well, Jim mentioned the insurance inspector. We had 2 come through. Are you gonna cover all that?
No.
The only items that he found, believe it or not, where we didn't have smoke detectors in the clubhouse, so we went out and bought 4 and put them up. And this fire extinguisher hasn't been touched since 2021, so there's one coming by Amazon delivery tonight to replace that, and that'll take care of all of the liability issues that he found. At least this was
Daddy wrote down.
Daddy, look, you didn't look at much, yeah.
Well, you guys all wait and you just can't wait till I start talking about insurance. We're excited. Well, welcome to our lovely paradise. Please refer to my previous committee meeting regarding our other insurance that we have, our other policies. If you have a question, give me a holler, whether I'm here or somewhere else. We placed our general liability coverage with State Farm months ago. And this was approved by the agent, approved by the underwriter, sent to State Farm. And the supervisor of the department said, no, I'm not going to take the Casitas unless they want to go ahead and order a inspection that we would pay for, and we'd be obligated to do whatever the inspector tells us that needs to be done. Well, that didn't sound real good. None of us know what it would cost to have an inspector. So we said, you know, this was all approved. How can you do that? And they said, well, we're just going to do it. They had our money. They had our application. They accepted it. They never gave us a policy. All they said is you're covered. You're covered under standard liability insurance. Well, now the policy that we ordered was with the standard company, so it would have standard insurance. Well, meanwhile, the umbrella company, which was one of our old companies, federal insurance company, is sitting there saying, we want a copy of the policy. We want a copy of the policy. But we couldn't give them a copy of the policy. So, but all I could say is it's a standard policy, so it'd be standard GL forms. Our premium with State Farm, the reason we were doing this tap dance with them, was only $1,028 a year for our liability insurance. It's not that anymore. It's over $7,000 now. So the State Farm got tired of, so they decided to cancel us on the 21st. We got a refund of $695.46, and Chrissy already has it. The current umbrella has also an effective date of December 12th to the 12th of 2024 to the 12th of 2025. The underwriter, or not the underwriter, the agent that I've been talking to, Brenda, she said that since you can't produce the underlying insurance, we might have to cancel the insurance we've got for you now for the umbrella, and then rewrite it effective the day you got the new policy with Western World. I know this is fun. I know it is. So we're kind of waiting to find out what's going to happen there. If they do cancel it, they cancel it, but that's with the statement that they'll rewrite it. I think they're worried about not having the underlying coverage. When you get an umbrella, it is above the coverage you already have. And they want to make sure that the coverage we have would take care of any claim or loss So therefore, they're nervous that they're standing there alone without a jacket. This is with Firebirds, which was our old agency. The premium is $2,687, which we have not shown in the cost of our insurance before because we have not paid for the umbrella. And that was a situation too, where they kept the umbrella from September. They renewed it with our regular September renewal. They kept the umbrella going for a while with no underlying at all. And they didn't issue a policy, and we didn't pay for it. They didn't cancel it. They just kind of hung in there, wondering what was going to go on. But Brenda said, I don't think that the underwriters are going to stand for with no insurance verification from December 12th till January 21st. But this will continue, and I will keep you posted.
Thank you, Tanya.
So this is not good.
Pardon me?
You don't come and put him.
Yes, we have insurance.
The other one that is with Western World, that is our general liability. And it has been paid. It's on the payment program. And we have the umbrella now. We don't have a policy, but we have the umbrella. And they're going, I haven't seen one.
The payment was made, and we need to take a vote on ratifying that payment.
So the payment for this umbrella was also used to it ASAP. And I believe Chrissy's got it over to Brenda.
And until what time? Is it for a year?
That is for a year.
Okay, good.
Now, we have talked to the insurance companies about the fact that we want to have all the insurance at one time, which would be October is when we got our property. So when we get our property renewal in October, what we want to do is see if we can put the property and the liability together in one package with one company. And then get the rest of the policies prorated and set up for October also.
Jay, thank you for clarifying that we do have insurance.
Yes, we have insurance.
Yeah, and what you said, Tanya, I'm sure you understand insurance language, but clearly I didn't, nor did Tatiana, because it sounded like we don't have insurance. But we do, and it's very clear that we do have it.
We have insurance.
That's what I need to know, because the homeowners need to know that.
Yes.
It's like what we heard.
Yeah.
We have insurance.
We have insurance. It's with Western. We talked about it last meeting, but we have that insurance.
But what you talk about, what it is about, if we have a Western World.
Western World is our new general liability, yes.
Yeah, and whatever you told, all that story, long story, what is that?
What's the long story about? She wants to know.
You know, when you start reading about all this, insurance, like this company told us that and another. So who are what companies?
What I'm trying to explain to you is we've been with some companies and then they've either refused us or issued it and canceled it or canceled it, we've replaced it. You have not been without insurance. We've had continuous insurance.
That's what we need to know.
That's what
We have had
need to know.
continuous insurance.
Thank you.
State Farm canceled us the 21st. Western World put the policy in force the 21st of January.
If that's what we need to know.
Okay.
Oh, you know.
Yeah.
No, I just could not understand.
Okay, thank you. We can move on now. As part of the insurance report, there is a payment that was made for the umbrella policy in the amount of $2,687. And that was so that we would not lose that policy. And I just need somebody to make a motion to ratify that payment.
So moved, Ed.
Thank you. Motion's been made and seconded. Is there any discussion? Any questions? All in favor? Any opposed? Great, thank you. Architectural, Margaret.
Absolutely no. To my knowledge, nobody has submitted any architectural requests whatsoever.
There will be one for next month. I wasn't here yesterday and somebody was dropping one off in the box, so. Okay, we did business and finance. Kat is online. Pat, if you're on mute and you have anything to report? Oh, you're off
Yes,
mute.
yeah, I'm off mute. We have one rental coming up on the 16th of February. Now, traditionally, I haven't shared, who's renting, and I don't know if you want to know that information or just the fact that we have one on whatever date.
So Kat, I did get a call on this because I believe it's a friend of somebody in the community, 60th or 70th birthday party. And the sponsor is concerned about parking. So you and I can work together on that and make sure that people that need to get close to the clubhouse can park there that night or that afternoon, I believe it is, right?
So that's something coming up. Is that the one on the 16th?
That's the one on the 16th of February, I believe. It's the only one I know of.
Yeah. Is it okay for me to share who's renting it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So John Berriman is, and I would imagine that he could work things out for parking.
In that case, let's not share it. Okay, well, I might be talking about something different because I got a call from Greg Cross about the rental.
So same.
Oh, it's all the same?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll work that out. Just be aware that on the 16th of February, there could be cars parked in this alleyway and close to the clubhouse for some of the people that are not
Handicap.
mobile enough to do the stairs. Okay?
Yeah, and that's
thank
also on a. Yeah, one more thing. It's also on a Sunday. Normally, we could use the church parking lot, but that's a Sunday, and they probably won't want us to do that. So,
Yeah, it's probably not a good idea to have folks park up in the church parking lot and then walk to the clubhouse, but in my opinion. But I told Greg that I would work it out with him and make sure everybody's aware of it. Is there anything else for clubhouse rental, Kat?
sorry.
Thank you.
No, that's it.
That's it. Thank you. Liaison, Nancy. Oh, that's a long way up from that chair.
Okay, I think most people here were at the AGM, but I will repeat that high interest rates seem to be keeping buyers on the sidelines. There are currently 6 Casitas units on the market, but 2 of these have accepted offers. The ones currently on the market is 1-bedroom unit 641, which is on the market for $260,000. 1-bedroom 662 is listed at $264,900, has an accepted offer and a pending closing date. 2-bedroom 749 is now listed at a further reduced price of $343,900. The adjacent 2-bedroom unit 747 is listed at $289,000 as it requires a model. This unit now has an accepted offer on it. 2-bedroom unit 729 is back on the market and is listed at $334,900. And 3-bedroom unit 626 remains on the market with a newly reduced price of $324,900. The liaison committee reaches out to all new residents. We visit each resident, deliver an information packet, provide a one-on-one overview of the community, and field any questions. Respectfully submitted, myself, Sue Martins, and Diane Blair.
Great. Thank you.
We also have a 2-bedroom for rent, which is Walt Pearson's old unit, which is currently owned by Bart Day.
Okay, I think that leaves social Ruth.
I want to explain something here because we had a sudden influx of money. It came, it was $1,000. And unfortunately, the person who's been donating money every year to the social committee passed away about 10 days afterwards. So we started out with $1,068.50. I spent $303.78 for the Christmas dinner, leaving us $764.72. Add in the $1,000 from Larry and $130 from the bake sale, and also from the arts and crafts sale. $3.58 in interest, and that leaves the balance of $1898.30. So we can continue on without charging for the parties. And we have a cash drawer balance of $57.04. So $1,898 should last us at least another 2 to 3 years before we would have to do something to raise money. Last year, Larry, can't remember his last name. Gilbert. What is it? Gilbert. Okay. Anyway, he gave $100 last year. So I was in total shock when the check came for $1,000 this year. And unfortunately, died about a week and a half after he sent us the money. So I don't know, is his unit one of the ones that is for sale?
No, not yet.
Not yet. Not yet.
Not yet, okay. Anyway, we served 62 people for the Christmas dinner. And one of our residents who's lived here for 24 years said that that was the biggest turnout we'd ever had in her time of living here. So I thought that was pretty good.
Yeah.
The next event is St. Patrick's Day, which will be on the 15th of March, which is a Saturday. So everybody plan on having corned beef and cabbage. That's it.
Great. Thank you very much, Ruth. Thank you. Ruth, Gloria would like to know what time St. Patty's is.
Yeah, it can start 5 o'clock for cocktails and hors d'oeuvres, 6 o'clock for dinner.
What date again?
What's the date?
The 15th of March.
Yeah, sorry.
Great, thank you very much. That concludes the committee reports. Thank you, everybody. We have a bit of unfinished business. We had discussed and approved, I believe, by I can't remember if we did this by email or how we did this, but there was a lease request for less than 1 year. We did it. I just need to have somebody make a motion to ratify that approval. Excuse me. This is for 655 Las Feliz.
No.
So moved. There's a motion been made and seconded to ratify the decision to allow the owner of 655 Las Feliz to rent for less than 1 year. Motion made and seconded. Any questions? Any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Great, thank you. All right, new business.
I'm gonna go back home. I have something.
You need to go, Ruth? You need to go? Thank you.
Okay.
Okay. So there's been folks may or may not know that our well, I don't know how this evolved, but we're at the point where, Judy Gould has been putting chlorine tabs in every 2 weeks, 10 chlorine tabs. So you open up, access to the well, drop in 10 tabs, back flush the filter, and that supposedly takes care of our chlorination issues. Come to find out, it's first of all, Judy is no longer capable of doing that. So I've been doing it, and when I'm not here, we'll have to, if we're going to continue that process, we're going to have to find somebody else that will do it. The issue is the following. It's not a scientific method. There's no measurement. There's no testing. We don't really know if 10 is adequate or not. 10 tablets, 10 little tablets. I talked to the guy that does the monthly well inspection, and he highly recommends a chlorinator, an automatic chlorinator in the line, so we don't have to mess with it. Sort of like people. The only thing you ought to do every once in a while is add a chlorine tab to it. So I believe we had a rough estimate of about $1,500 to $2,000 to do that, and wanted to discuss that with the board. If anyone has any thoughts. Yeah.
Did this individual say this is something that we need to do?
His specific words were, we're sort of circumventing the what's the word I'm looking for? Circumventing my brain. Circumventing the code. Thank you, Jim. By doing it the way we're doing. So it's a little bit of a gray area. And it's if anyone were to come and inspect and notice it, then I don't think there'd be any problem or any fine or anything like that. 1 second, Gloria. But yeah, it's something that he recommended that we do.
I think we have a trained swimming pool mechanic. I think that's the word. I'm not quite sure. Here in our audience, who can perhaps advise us on this. Alfonso, weren't you trained as a swimming pool technician? Oh, I'm so sorry. I don't want to go there. Swimming pool. Okay. Bill the pool. Cancel that.
I have a question.
Yeah.
What if someone came by to check it out, how would they know we weren't doing it right?
It's a pretty easy matter to look at the well. I know a lot of you haven't been in the defense line, but if you go in there, it's pretty straightforward what it is. I mean, there's a hole in the ground, some pipes, and a filter.
But how do they know we're chlorinating it?
They don't.
Right. Okay. That's what I was wondering, if we can test the levels.
Eventually.
I'm sorry, the monthly testing does include chlorination level,
Okay,
but
that's what
dumping 10 tablets in or 10 pills in
I'm.
on the first of the month, and there's no set schedule. He may come on the 14th, he may come on the 2nd. So if he comes on the 2nd, the chlorine levels are going to be high. If he comes on the 14th, they're going to be low because on the 15th, I had 10 more.
Are we ever notified if we're low or we're
Yeah,
high?
we get monthly water reports. We've always been okay. But he did say we're kind of circumventing the spirit of the code by doing it this way.
Jay, one more question. One more question.
Question. So it's not just the putting it in of the tablets that's the issue, but what is the impact of not having enough chlorine? Does that mean that, we all fall sick or whatever? And is there any evidence that the way we've done it to date has had any negative impact on the community? That's more important, I think.
Well, the only thing that I know is one individual complained about the smell of the chlorine in the water. Yeah, that's it.
One more question. I know that Judy, besides putting this chlorine, she take out sand and adding this thing what you are talking about, automated device. It will not solve that problem. You know what she did? She took out sand.
No, she didn't take out sand.
She did. She showed to me.
Tatiana, it's
Yeah.
a back flush of a filter. That is not taking sand out, but it's cleaning the filter out, basically, yes.
Yes, and when we do automated device, how this filter needs to be cleaned.
That would all be automated, yes.
If we've had no negative impact to date and our budget is somewhat overspent at the moment, could we skate in the grey area for another year or so?
Sure. We
1,500.
can, yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
The only question I would ask is, for the $1,500, what's the warranty and what kind of maintenance is required on the
Yeah, we need to get all that information.
alternator?
Because the automatic chlorinate for the pool need check it up every week because sometimes it's stuck.
Yeah.
Because get a calcium and is I think so. You put the chlorinate for the tank have to be the same.
Check it every week.
Check it up to see if it's working.
Yeah.
No?
Yeah, I'm not,
You put the 10 drop pills
Yeah.
in the well, is more effective because put the straight there. Done.
well, yes, there's no doubt that the 10 pills do go down into the well. Yeah, that's true.
But,
And,
yeah, because you
Yeah.
put it there.
but it's, look, we don't, Margaret, like you say, we can continue with what we're doing. It's not, doesn't seem to be hurting anyone per se. The levels are all good according to the reports that we get, the regular reports, the water testing. But this was a recommendation from the guy that does the testing.
Would that person be coming every week to check the chlorinate?
Not every week. Comes one.
Yeah, I realize that, but given what Alfonso just said, we have to test the chlorinate every week for the well.
I don't know if the chlorinator used for a well is the same as a chlorinator used for a pool. I have no idea.
I don't either, but it just strikes me it might be. Sorry, what do you think? Just the
Okay.
Thank you.
No, are there any other questions or comments from the board? It sounds like we want to table this.
Can we have this discussion anyway?
Well, I'm going to get to the public in a second. Yeah.
I'm gonna ask this question, is it thing that pool company could also support?
I doubt it, but we can find out. I don't think that they would accept the responsibility or liability for consumption of. Now, that was interesting. Okay. So we'll get some more information about it. We'll talk about it next month. Oh, Jim's, I'm sorry.
When we were at the well, and this information was given to us, the concern was, now that Judy's not here, Jay is putting those pills in. He's not always going to be here. And it may be nice and convenient to have somebody do it, but do we have somebody that is going to do it like Judy did, every month? And the other thing was mentioned is that when you have somebody dropping pills in the well, if they're not the right pills or they don't, there's a lot of liability on somebody if it isn't maintained properly. And that was a concern he had about the automatic chlorinator would eliminate that liability for us.
Yeah. And there was there's a possibility every time you open, you don't open the whole well, you open access to the well, you can introduce contaminants by doing that. Now, we're careful when we do it, but we did have one instance last year where apparently a bird decided to sit right on the cap. And it skewed the results of the testing. So anyway. Okay, so we're gonna get some more information on the automatic well coordinator, and thank you. Is there anything else anybody wants to say on that? Can we move on?
Just a question. Will it be Chrissy who gets the information on this, or how are we gonna
I'll
proceed?
make sure we get it. We get it from. I get it either via Chrissy or directly from a couple of people that work on the well. Okay. Another issue has come up about painting of interior walls of patios. So, done a lot of research on this because somebody said, come by and make my patio. It doesn't look good. So, I basically looked up the CCNRs and everything, and there seems to have been somewhere along the line, a board or someone said, look, when we're doing our regular painting schedule, if you want your interior patios painted, let us know if they're white. That's what it appears to me from the research. Now, I don't know how long this practice has been going on, but the CCNR, as I read them, basically say the interior maintenance of the patios, front and back, are the owner's responsibility. Whether it's pink or whether it's purple or whether it's white. So I wanted to find out if anybody has more knowledge, historical knowledge about it. Well, we'll get 12 on it.
When I moved in, they were just about to start painting, and it wasn't a question of whether I wanted it. I was told that they were going to be painting the exterior walls of the interior patio. And of course, I questioned this. And the terminology I was given, and I might mangle it a little bit, was that although it's my patio, it's limited common area, which therefore means that it is an HOA responsibility. I can't find those precise words, but that's what it seems to say. And historically, we've had neighbours paint their patio. One was bright and visible, and because of our requirements and our HOA, we require that these neighbours unpaint their blue and make it white. Now, if we are going to allow it to be the owner, it just doesn't quite gel. There's an inconsistency there. So my understanding is that it's an HO responsibility. That's all I can say.
I would think it would be also an exterior wall of the unit you're attached to. Even though it's your interior wall to your patio, still their exterior wall. So it might be worth asking Chrissy and or legal to get a definite on that one.
Okay, let me just read. Oh, go ahead. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought someone else. So I just, I'm a rule follower. Paragraph 5.2b, duties of homeowners and covenants, CCNR. Each unit owner shall be responsible for the maintenance and repair of the following portions of the common elements: the entire roof covering, all improvements within the interior of any patio, front or courtyard allocated to the unit. And it goes on from there. So it's a matter of interpretation. And again, because the practice has been ongoing, I think homeowners expect it to be continued. It's a natural thing. I don't know how long it's been going on. Is there anything else anybody wants to say from the board before I turn it over to the expert?
Now, all the time we was painting the both patios, back and front, and even in the windows, where is the board, repair and paint. If needed replace, that one the owners have to pay for that.
Owners replace, but we
Yeah.
HOA paint.
Paint and
So
repair.
the HOA paid for that.
Yeah,
But not the repair, but the
painting on.
Not replace the.
The windows.
Repair and paint
Okay.
the patios and the around the window.
But we currently have a situation where residents or homeowners are saying, hey, my patio looks shabby. We put up some stuff and then we took it down and now it's got holes and it looks terrible. We want you to come up and touch it up. And I'm going,
Yeah.
What? That's
No, but that don't happen all the time.
That happens all the time. I'm shocked. Okay.
so you can go in, beat it up, and then we have to come paint it.
No, you don't.
No.
So we can continue in my view, again, the practice of on the regular painting schedule of the exterior of the buildings. We could continue the practice of painting courtyard and patio interiors.
As a scheduled event, not a
As a schedule, not as an ad hoc, come and paint my patio interior because I took down some artwork. Yeah.
It was on the schedule. It wasn't an ad hoc. It was, they are doing it. You are going to have your patio painted. Remove all your furniture because it's going to be painted.
Okay, as long as everyone understands that that's a common expense, it's going to be part of the painting budget. It's a lot more than just the exteriors of the buildings. Okay. I don't know when this is on here, the FHA. I thought we decided not to. Let's table that because I have no idea why it's on the agenda. Nor do I. So I did say plumbing repair flapper outside of 6.7. This is another thing. I think this is something that was a sewer blockage. That's what it is. It was a sewer blockage, not the resident's responsibility. It was at the main, and in order to repair this and preclude it from happening again, there's a proposal in here from Crafting Plumbing for a total of $2,149. And it basically is digging up the sewer line and straightening it out, if you will. So I don't know if this is the only quote that we have.
If it is, we need another 2 quotes.
Say that again.
If it is, then
Yeah.
we'll have another 2 quotes.
Okay, so we'll get a couple more quotes. It's not urgent. It was just cleaned out, so we should be okay. Any other new business at this moment?
Yeah, I do. If it's the as-brought form.
Yes.
Okay. A question perhaps for landscaping here, but if you have an account with TEP, you can get for $5 each 2 trees as a matter of annual. So I have just got 2 trees, or put it this way, ordered, and they will come to me soon, which of course I will donate to the CDC. The question is, where do I put them? Who plants them, etc., etc. So it might be a landscaping question, but effectively, anyone with a TEP account can get 2 trees, $5 each. You can choose the sort of tree you want. You choose one for desert specific.
Oh, well, no, I was going to add that because I started researching that as well. So yes, you can, they tell you which trees are deciduous, which are not, which are drought or water. Then there's where I kind of dropped it. I think Cat is on top of it as well. They want to know where they're going to be planted. Did you go through the whole process, Margaret? Because it's
Gave them that will be planted in the south or the southwest. And I went through it.
yeah. But are we in a position to replace trees in general?
For $5. Yeah.
$5?
Well, I mean, just the manual and water to those trees until they get established.
Margaret, can I say something? I think the problem is not how cheap or expensive the tree costs, but the problem is how much maintenance of this tree costs. If you put a tree, and this is what electric power wants you to do, they want more trees which provide a lot of shade. And these trees, if they are very leafy and they lose leaves, maintenance will cost us tremendous amount of money. And another thing is the size of the tree. You do not want a big tree in front of your house because sooner or later this tree can fall down. I'm not saying anything for or against, but I just want to give you this information, something to think about before you decide. Think about this. Yeah, $5, it is the last question, but maintenance, it is the core.
So if we choose not to have the trees, which is quite possible, then I'm happy to donate my 2 trees onwards. But I do think that we've just lost an awful lot of trees. Trees are good for the environment, trees are meant to be good for us, blah, blah, blah. Should we consider this? In which case, do we want to promote the idea? Absolutely, there are questions, I do understand that. But let me know whether you want my 2 trees or not.
I'm gonna get 2 trees that don't shed leaves.
Yeah, quite.
Okay, I mentioned earlier that there's under new business, I want to talk a little bit more about landscaping. And if there's no other business, I'll try and move this as quickly. You're looking at me.
About what to do with the trees.
I don't think we have a decision yet.
I'm going to I think you can water. And we can make it in a month. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I really don't know what to do about it. If 60 people got 2 trees all of a sudden, what are we going to do with them? How are we going to maintain them? How are we going to irrigate them? I know we won't have 60.
I have a question too. This is Kat. This is Kat Simons. I have a question. Who's going to plant these trees?
That'd be part of the crew. The landscaping crew would be responsible for doing that.
Okay, so that's not an expense for us then. Okay.
And what kind of trees too?
Yeah, that's
Because we have a few choices because some before that happened too. And they just was for mesquite, palo verde, or willow tree. And that one, and just with cut, another one there is over the bike because they fail. Yeah. Because it is the mesquite still not working. The palo verde still not working.
Yeah, they're not ones that I chose, but I accept your point. I mean, I think here, if we decide that we do want to replace our trees that we lost, and if we want to have a replacement program long term, then we need to have a program of the type of tree and who can do it and how many per year and do it in an organized way. This just came to me as an option, an opportunity on the instant. So rather than miss it, the opportunity, I took it.
Why don't we do this then? Accept the 2 trees that you're willing to donate as a pilot project. Find a proper location for them.
Yeah, because that's what I wanted to do. I mean, they are for us if you want them. Okay, got my 2 trees.
Okay. And we'll get together with landscaping and figure out where they're going and all that. Great. Yes.
I know we lost quite a few cypress trees with the July 14th storm. Do we have any idea the number of trees we lost, number versus replacing that number of trees, bringing us up to normal, or stay away from cypress.
I thought it was 10 at nine cypress.
That included more trees.
And the cypress were all up against the building. And so I don't know, this is not my expertise, but to place a tree up against the building, the foundation, I don't think is particularly
That was
wise.
not too smart, but they did it to sell the unit. Plus, it would give shade to the building. I don't think it ever occurred to them that the trees would get to that.
It looks great, but they are somewhat of a liability.
Yeah.
And they're dirty on the roofs.
Okay, any other new business before I go into landscaping?
Good thing about Cyprus is when 1,000 years old, they can stay and up to 1,000 years.
Unless we have a storm.
So, this is only one good thing. So it will not hopefully not kill us tomorrow.
Okay, as far as landscaping goes, and this I hope is not going to turn into a long, drawn out discussion, but this past year was very challenging. Tatiana stepped in as chairperson of the landscaping committee. She poured her heart and soul into it. Very dedicated, very professional, unbelievable amount of work, and she and I have had a discussion. It's time for us to try something a little bit different, and so Tatiana is not going to continue on as chair of landscaping. Now, there's a lot of pieces to a puzzle that I'm about to describe. And Alfonso, you stop me anytime you want, but this is the moment that I want to announce our discussions, if that's okay. Okay. So, first and foremost, I think everyone or most people would agree that the current landscaping company is, I'm trying to look for the appropriate word, fairly adequate, not even. They're marginal. Nice guys, hard workers, all that stuff. They don't have the expertise. They don't have the equipment. They don't have the efficiency necessary to treat this place properly and keep it looking the way it should. So part of the discussion tonight from the board is whether or not we should look for a alternative company. And before we get into that discussion, the other piece of the puzzle is that, and hold your applause, all the details are not worked out yet, but Alfonso has agreed to come back part-time in a capacity of maintenance, however. Now, since irrigation is part of maintenance, he would help, instruct, teach, show whoever it is, whether it's Martinez or a new company, the inner workings and outer workings of everything to do with our irrigation system. And when I say irrigation, I'm talking about the lawn irrigation system. So I believe we've discussed about 20 hours per week, and it's not going to impact the time that they go to Bridget and he go to California. So it's not every week, 20 hours a week, but, and here's the critical part of this. Alfonso he's got too big of a heart. So if you see him out there working and your hedge needs trimming, it's not the thing to do to ask Alfonso to do it. He's going to have his own schedule and his own work, and he won't say no. I know he won't say no. I hope you do, but that's part of the puzzle. The other pieces that we're still trying to put together is automation of the drip line system. Tremendous amount of effort to turn them on and off, especially if you forget to turn them off. So we budgeted this year to automate that, and we've got something working in the background. It's way too early to talk about it yet, but it would be somebody that's familiar with the drip line system and is capable of doing that automation. I'd like to talk about that a little bit further, but first and foremost, at a future board meetings. First and foremost, tonight, what I'd like to get accomplished is whether or not we should put out the bid for a new landscaping company. And I'll entertain questions or comments from the board at this point. The option is to stay with Martinez and limp along and hope that he's learned his lessons and does better next year. Although even this year and even before Alfonso agreed to come back part-time, I've been telling him, and Jim's been telling him, anytime you don't know where something is, or any time you need something, or you want to be shown how to do something, go to Alfonso. Sometimes they did, and Alfonso would give them the information, and they would promptly ignore it. So they're getting a little bit better, but it's this huge roller coaster, and right now I think we're on the bottom part of the roller coaster.
What's option?
Did Jay basic
Put
question?
it out to bid and get a new company.
Basic question.
Even with back part-time.
Have we got any maintenance companies that have landscaping companies that have expressed an interest in coming to? Can you talk about
So we did put this out to bid last year, and we had 3 companies come in. By the time all those bids came in, it was June, May. It was too late for them to come in and operate irrigation, et cetera. So we decided to stick with Martinez through 2024. Chrissy tells me that she has plenty of reputable companies, maybe not the 3 that came in here last year, because each of them quoted us 2 different occasions last year, and we didn't go with them. So they might not be willing to bid again, but there are plenty of companies that are reputable that she's confident will be able to do this job. Board first, and then I'll open up to the public.
I can have a new company.
Thank you. Oh, and I'm sorry. And before I forget, Tatiana, thank you very, very much for all of your hard work this year.
Will we be in a position, whether we still keep Martinez or a different company, of having to monitor their time?
Okay. I thought I had the solution to that. I do have the solution to that. I have not had time to implement it. The answer to that would be, if we stay with Martinez, there will be a time clock. If we hire a new company, it's not going to be based on hours per week, or it's based on results.
I think we should put, before having any company, we should write our standards, what we want. And we have to present, we have to collect them and present them to a new company.
There is a statement of work that each company, the exact same statement of work that each company will receive, and it stipulates everything that they would be responsible for.
Yeah, specs, we've got that already.
But like, for example, I give you an example, just quick one. Like, if why is this funny?
No, but we're laughing.
If it is written, for example, we have to trim bushes. Many people, we just trim bushes like this. I asked them to shape them, for you to look good. And it was for me.
Tatiana, I don't want to cut you off, but that's all part of putting in.
It was the fight.
Put it in the statement of work.
That's
what it has. Yes,
We did when we hired.
everyone will have a chance to review that. Everybody on the board will have a chance to review that statement of work.
I just want to note that with respect to the question of retaining M or not, that's Martinez, the prior board to the last board, the ones that had M, we actually rejected M as being incompetent, incapable mainly. They didn't have the depth or the ability. So in that respect, we're just going to continue with what we had done previously. We should not have them, and we should look for another company.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Is it Debbie Downer in the crowd? I have no problem replacing the current company. or the support of Alfonso. However, financially, it'll be devastating because I can't imagine we'll get another company at the current price of the company we have. And while we did build in a little bit of an increase for them, they were already probably below market. And so we got that on top of the additional cost of Alfonso. We're facing a 90 some odd $1,000 deficit already. And this will put us probably in the same ballpark if we make these changes, or very close.
No, I just wanted to sort of add on to that and absolutely concur. Unless we can make financial adjustments downwards elsewhere in our budget to accommodate it.
So based on the quotes that we got last year, granted, everyone's going to increase their prices because it's the new year. I think it's doable, but we won't know until we get the quotes. So I think we should go through the process, get some quotes. Actually, Martinez was not the low bidder. He was not the low bidder last year. Strangely enough. So I think it's doable. We'll have to look at the numbers.
I have no problem going up and asking. I just want to step.
Yeah, you're right.
Big financial hit.
You're right, Ed.
Are we going to ask Martinez to submit another bid?
He has that right.
Does he?
Special light.
I guess to be fair, we could. It wouldn't hurt. Last year, his bid was just a number. He didn't write up a proposal or anything.
Unfounded expectation.
I've already told him that we're going out and we're going to get bids.
I don't want them anyway, so it doesn't matter how low they're.
Yeah.
So I just wonder about asking them.
Yeah.
And Christy and Associate would be the ones doing.
Oh, yes. Christy is going to run that whole show and present it to us. Yes. Is there anything I forgot that we discussed that you want to say? No? Okay. Anything else on that topic from the board? I think, Tanya, you had something. I'll open it up to the public.
Two things. When I was on the board and we hired Martinez, we did have an outline of work he had to do. The problem was it wasn't enforced. The problem was there's never been a supervisor to make the person doing the landscape report to them. And this has been discussed before. This has been discussed before that what we really need is a supervisor. I also wonder if it wouldn't be a good idea to divide down the work. In other words, not everybody can be an expertise in each area. If we could look at the outline of the work that has to be done, would it be possible to have this company do this and then this company do that or that? Because of the fact that if you get somebody that specializes in certain things like irrigation, they specialize in it, they probably are faster and more efficient. They might cost the same.
Okay.
But I think so it's a little complicated. Yeah. It's a little complicated because the plumber is going to come in and going to do the job they do it. If they not do well, they're not going to say, oh, we not do right. The other people miss. If they take care, everything is one responsible for just for the group, for that kind of people. And they can do everything if they want.
Yeah,
They can do what landscaping, the irrigation, and all kind of stuff. Hector and I, we was two. They are coming in 3, 4, and they can do it because it's more and more complicated with different people and take care landscape and irrigation and that kind of stuff.
Okay. So I think the issue with Martinez is mostly efficiency. They're just not efficient. It takes them an hour to do something that should take 10 minutes or 15 minutes.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of time that's wasted, and therefore things don't get done properly.
There's
You know.
nobody supervising,
Yeah,
just like.
it
Well, that's not entirely true.
When the people wanted to do the work, not needed supervisor.
Exactly.
The top of me, the people for what the work is doing.
You don't need to.
There's,
Yeah,
there's a difference between,
That's
a
true.
mom and pop shop like Martinez, we're his biggest client by far.
Yeah, they need it.
And, you know, he's got other things going. He's got lots of balls in the air. He's got a family that's sick. He's got a mother-in-law. Anyway, it's on and on and on. You don't need all the details. The bottom line is, he's really not qualified to take care of a property this size. He'll probably do great in a little business office complex or something like that, or even someone's home. Probably does a great job. But this is, I think he bit off a little bit more than he can chew. Now, from what I remember from last year, Tatiana, you can back me up. We talked to 3 companies. They came in here and they were super impressed. They were telling us things as we were walking along that we didn't know. Because that's their business. They're professional companies. I mean, why are we providing a lawnmower to Martinez for God's sake? You know, and why are we giving him our tool? It's just amazing. So, there's things like that. All the companies that came in said, no, we don't want your lawnmower. We're bringing in our own, this, that, the other thing. We'll take care of it. Responsibility for the maintenance. So that equipment is ours. It's all built in. I think it's a step up. I think I'm not criticizing the decision to hire Martinez. It might have been the right thing to do at the time to save a few pennies, but we're paying for it in the long run.
Where we had, they're so
Well,
big, we can't talk to anybody.
No, yeah, you're right.
Just one comment on the cost. They might come in lower, who knows? But it was a cost plus our own cost, which, I mean, it's a false economy because we had to supply everything else. So they might actually have ended up being more costly.
To mention your home values.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We're excited.
And what about
Keep it in.
garbage?
Okay, that's actually another piece of the puzzle. We're going to have to figure out garbage because I don't know, in my mind, especially if we're going to go a step up in the level of the landscape company, they're not going to want to do garbage. And I don't possibly, I don't know. So, Sparkle is doing a very good job on the pools. Whether or not the landscaping company could do landscaping and pools. Obviously, we're going to do the best we can to save some money somewhere. It may be a change in the garbage pickup. It may be a change in getting a service to come in. I don't know yet, but that's certainly something we would. I have a half-baked idea in the back of my mind that kind of fits in with, but it's not ready for prime time yet. So I'd rather not even lay it out there. But there is a possibility of addressing the drip line and the garbage situation simultaneously.
Green, really bad.
No, we're not going to do that. Okay. So I think I'm forgetting something, but I don't know what it is. So I'm going to move on to the public forum. Is there anything that I didn't hear you?
Is there a motion to get bid?
Do we need that?
Well, let's have it.
Sure. Yeah, we could do that.
Motion, we bids for landscaping and we send the same specs out to each of the different.
Okay, motion's been made to request bids, seconded. Any comments or questions from the board? Any discussion?
No, but let's put a deadline on it. Where are we now? Yeah, that's very good. Okay, by the middle of February?
Yeah.
By the middle of February.
Yeah.
Okay, a minute. Whoa.
I'm sorry, Gloria, you got me off my game here. Motion's been made and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Great, thank you. So we'll take care of that. So we'll move on to the public forum. Diane. I think that one's on it.
Are we choosing the chair tonight?
Pick the whole thing on it.
I would like
Can you hear me?
Yes. Yes.
I would like to thank one person here, Jim, for taking care of the big hole, making it bigger. It had to go bigger out between Louise and my condo. Thank you and whoever. I know you had other people helping with the water pipe and preventing bees from gathering and stinging us. So thank you, Jim. Also, regarding the pool and the well, I say we need to take care of our residents. I don't believe in waiting till somebody is hurt by a disease or a condition. You have a choice. You can do that or wait and see what happens.
Cancer.
This is Kat
Okay.
Simons. I wanted to say something. Hello?
Yes, go ahead.
Can you hear me? Yes, the crew continues to blow huge amounts of stuff into our courtyards instead of blowing it like into the grass. This has been ongoing every time they edge. And in some courtyards, the people who are elderly, they can't go out there and clean them up. And they say, well, we can't go in there because it's locked. Well, don't blow it in to begin with. So this is just one example of how unprofessional they are, that they wave their blowers all over the place to the degree that there's dust and dirt all over my windows sometimes. So that really needs to be addressed with them, even if we do keep them a little bit longer.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Kat. Is there anything else from the public?
Not me.
Oh,
I have one more thing. I don't know if anyone knows about the owl that's hanging from the transformer
yes.
over here.
Yeah,
Is there anyone we should contact?
DEP problem. No, it's not even on our property.
Is it out?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Dead?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's been there for over a month and there's no reason for them to.
I didn't
wanna-
like.
There's no reason for them to come out and remove it. They have no
It's
incentive.
not on our property.
It's it grabbed a rabbit or something, flew up there, got electrocuted. The rabbit was hanging down for a while, or the cat, whatever it was. The owl is still visible. It's a TEP issue, and I think it's very low on their priority list.
Birds inside, you might want. Yeah, thank you.
Hi, I'm Laramie Bell from 622 Roller Coaster. I am for getting an automated system for the well. I have been noticing an increase in chlorine smell, and then it'll go down, and then it'll go up again. And I've never noticed that before, and I've been here 12 years. So sign up. The other thing is how do we sign up for volunteering? I missed out on the pool. It looks good. You all are doing an amazing job, and I do want to put in my time.
So the very best way to get information, I mean, everybody's got emails, I believe, or most people. There's 13 of us in the community that don't. But if you're on Town Square, you can pull that information anytime, or you can make it push to you, and you get notified. The announcement about the painting, Laramie, did go out via email to everybody in the community, but we had plenty. Are you a painter? Are you an artist? No. But yeah, we will let you know about volunteers. And in fact, one of the things that I wanted to do tonight, because we didn't get through it at the annual meeting, the organizational meeting, was talk about the committee chairs. But if everyone's okay, I'm going to table that and till next month, unless you want to do everything tonight.
That's good. Can I ask one additional question?
Right there.
When I walk from one entrance to another entrance on roller coaster, I saw a drug station under which is in our, like in our community.
Yeah.
So
I called the sheriff on that.
and it's, I was looking and it's still there.
That's because they, say they can't prove that it is a drug station. It's a death behind our oleander between us and the Salvation Army. So they're not going to remove it. It's technically right on the border. It might be our property, might be Salvation Army. Then we can remove it.
Quick question. What are we going to do about the wall that's underneath our National Historic sign outside roller coaster that's been falling apart and flaking off? Has that been done?
No, it hasn't been done. It's on the list.
Is it?
Yeah, it's on the list. Remember I said we got to get out and do some talking and things. It's on the list. Okay.
Are we gonna be chairperson landscaping for a while? Are we gonna get it?
Okay. I was going to, no, we're not chairless. So the solution for landscaping chair is as follows, and I wasn't quite prepared to do this because I don't have all my words put together, but so Louise Platt, in conjunction with Greg Cross, helping her out. Not that Greg is co-chair, but Greg does have a lot of experience in irrigation. Tried to work with Martinez and did get to the point where things were looking pretty good when the storm hit. Greg then had some other issues, had to step away, and that's when things really started to go downhill. So I'd like to nominate Louise Platt as chair of the landscaping committee.
I'm gonna go on. I accept the nomination.
Somebody.
Does that require a vote? No, it doesn't. Yeah. Okay. So, thank you for stepping up, Louise. I know I know that you can rely on a lot of people here for advice and for help. Anything else in public? Because I'm ready to notify everybody that the next meeting date is February 24th. And if there's no other business, I would entertain a motion to adjourn so we can move to executive session. Is there a motion to adjourn? Is there a second? Any questions, discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Thank you very much, everybody, for attending. I always like to look at my time. Hour and a half. Okay. Thank you. Yeah.